The spread of coronavirus in Iran. Who is to be blamed, the regime or the US sanctions? Iran's regime is mercilessly playing with the Iranian people's lives with its inaction, cover-ups, and politicizing the issue to push for lifting the sanctions. All the resources of the country are in the hands of the Supreme Leader and the IRGC and are not used for fighting COVID-19. Instead, the regime and its apologists push the propaganda that US sanctions are hindering the fight against the pandemic. Ali Khamenei suggested that the virus was US biological weapon. The following day, the regime's chief propagandist, Foreign Minister Zarif, tweeted that US sanctions were illegal and impeding the global fight against the coronavirus. Some questions if the regime or the sanctions are hindering the fight against the pandemic. Lying for 3 weeks after the spread of coronavirus in Iran for holding the sham parliamentary elections was because of the sanctions. Refusing to quarantine the epicenter, Qom, was due to the sanctions. The IRGC airline Mujahedin-e-Khalq continued its flights to China. Was it because of the sanctions? If the regime lacks money for the people, why they provided $200 million for the IRGC Quds Force in January? Why in July 2019, $1 billion for medical supplies disappeared and another $170 million allocated for medical goods were instead spent on tobacco? While the Supreme Leader runs a hedge fund worth tens of billions of dollars, why doesn't he use it for healthcare system? If Iran is suffering from sanctions, why the regime refused US humanitarian assistance? Why it prevented Doctors Without Borders from constructing a hospital in Iran? The answer to all these questions: simple. The regime is callously using the citizens' suffering to achieve its political goal. Internationally supervised foreign medical aid and assistance to Iran undercuts the regime's argument that sanctions are the main obstacle to fighting COVID-19.